Well, hi there. It is Monday, June the 29th, 2020. Uh, Journal's 362 and T+455, I think, maybe, I hope. It's a lot of days since the transplant. I guess that's what qualifies. It's been 1 year and April, May, June, 3 months, which is insane. Which is the topic of today's blog post, because I think I'm losing my mind. Not because of COVID, although that's reason enough, I'm sure. And staying at home, I've gotten really rather used to that. I think I'm losing my mind because of the impact all of these different stressors are having on me and the decisions that I'm making as a result. Some of which don't really seem to be all that rational. And through it all, I hear my dad's voice, echoing around inside my head. As he would say it. And if you knew my dad, then you probably heard him say it. Crazy as a cock-a-roach. For whatever reason, cockroach became a three-syllable word, cock-a-roach. And there were cockroaches. And I can only imagine that was part of his youth growing up, in ethnic neighborhoods in New York. And during the Depression, being a child during the Depression, he was born in 22. That means that he was probably about 14 during the Depression, and God knows what kind of living arrangements they had. Before that, they never really, my grandparents, my parents really never talked about that other than when mom and dad first met. But he used to use that term all the time, crazy as a cockroach. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's me. And I'll tell you why. I had this crazy idea. I wrote about it the other day. I spoke about it the other day. And it is not so slowly turning into the outline of what will be another book, which is nuts in and of itself, because while I finally finished writing, editing, and releasing Misfire in ebook and paperback, and while we finally finished the Audible for Misfire, What to Do When Things Aren't Running on All Cylinders, and got that out into the world, I'm still working on the customer care handbook that'll act as a supplement to Misfire, and have probably 3 other supplements, handbooks, to do as well. I mean, that's, projecting work out into the future for a pretty decent, optimistic future. Probably years to get them all completed, edited, and then out into the world. Plus whatever else that comes next. And yet I can't get this idea for the next project after the customer care handbook out of my head. I mean, it's consuming me. It's insane. I mean, I've already started writing the first chapter, and that's not a good thing, because any time I spend thinking and writing about that book is time that's taken away from the book that 3/4 of the way through, and still plan to add additional chapters to. So, when I start talking about crazy as a cockroach, I may just be talking about myself in all of that. And the great fear is that when it comes to the have to illusion, which is what this book will be all about, is that this book is something that I really do have to do, and it's not an illusion. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that as we move into the future. A couple of things before I close. I was just on a webinar from the City of Hope, part of my responsibilities, part of my privilege as a member of the Patient Family Advisory Council, on the expansion project that's going on, even as we speak, even as I speak now. And one of the things that came up was, the increasingly critical need for blood and platelets. If you're anywhere near the City of Hope, and this is something you have done in the past or can do in the future, please consider it. The need for blood and platelets saves lives. It saved mine. If I could do it, if they would allow me to do it, I would be the first one in line to do it. Unfortunately, they won't allow it, or at least not yet. Not sure that they ever will because of the transplant, but whatever you can do would be deeply appreciated. It is a critical need, and while you may never know whose life you save, it's realistic that you'll save someone's life. I certainly contribute to it in a very dramatic way. So keep that in mind. In the meantime, stay well, stay strong, stay focused, stay safe, stay home, and take care.